Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I think this is probably like my third or semi scope. And so I just wanted to hop on really quickly. Hello, everybody. Hi, I saw Travel with Eva. What is your name? Caroline? Caroline, hi, welcome. Um, but today I just wanted to take a few minutes to, one, introduce myself. My name is Halana Black. I am a professional writer. I do freelance writing as well as work with other people who want to use writing for their business. Now, for the most part, I tend to work with a lot of health and wellness professionals. Um, I help people work on things like writing their books, writing articles, writing newsletters. I also happen to be an editor, so I work with a lot of people who have a lot of trouble with writing their own articles or books and things like that, and they need someone to go back and help them with polishing their work. So I work a lot with that. A lot of the work that I've been doing lately has been a lot of editing work. So today, actually, I just got finished completing some work for a client of mine who is a health coach, and she has just completed writing an article for a regional magazine in Florida. Um, and so I just wanted to give you guys a few tips on how you can do that for your own business, whether you have a health business or whatever it is that you do. I just wanted to take a few minutes to be able to teach you how you can use your own writing skills or work with a person like me to be able to get your expertise into regional magazines or newspapers and things like that. So, let's see. I'm looking at my notes. So, here are a few steps to help you get started with learning how to write for a magazine or a regional newspaper. The first thing you need to know is who it is that you're talking to, who's your audience, who it is that you work with on a regular basis. Um, if you're a person who works with women, what kind of women do you work with? Do you work with women who are retired? Are you working with women who are young mothers? Because there's a difference, and you'll find that there are different magazines and newspapers that are geared toward different types of people. So you want to be very, very clear on the type of people that you're working with, so that you don't waste any time trying to go and write articles for magazines and newspapers that don't even speak to the audience that you work with. Okay, so that's number one. So know who it is that you're talking to. Once you know who it is that you're talking to, then you can start thinking about what magazines or newspapers do they read. You can start locally. You don't have to even go globally or even nationally. Start where you are in your town and move outwards from there. So, a lot of times you'll find, if you go to a grocery store, some sort of a specialty, a store. Many stores will have their own publications that they publish within the store itself, or they may have other publications from other places um, that are always looking for people to contribute content. Sometimes they might pay you to write these articles, others may not. But the whole point of doing this is to help get your name out there to the kind of people who are going to purchase your services if you're a business person, obviously. Um, but you want to pay attention to what types of magazines are your people reading, magazines and newspapers. You start locally and you move outwards from there. A lot of times you'll find once you start within your own town, there might be a county newspaper or magazine, or even more like a regional magazine. I live in Orlando, Florida, so there's a few fashion magazines that I found that are geared towards business women, entrepreneurs. So I read those from time to time. There are magazines and newspapers that are geared towards African Americans. If you're looking within to work within a particular culture, a particular religious group, um, people who engage in certain activities, then there might be a magazine, a local or regional magazine that speaks to those people. So you want to make sure that you hit those magazines, and just once you find those magazines, make yourself a list. Hey Daphne, good to have you here. Once you make a list of those, what you want to do then is to start reading them. You want to get familiar with the content that that these magazines and newspapers produce. What sorts of stories do they produce on a regular basis? Do they tend to produce content from people that are written like on a first person basis? Do they have a lot of information from entrepreneurs who are just sort of pitching themselves as an expert? Or do they want articles that are, a bit more general in nature, and they'll allow you to put in a little one-liner at the end of the article, explaining who you are and what it is that you do, and if people want to contact you, they may allow you to include your website or something like that. That's very, very important, because if you pitch the wrong type of content to this particular magazine or newspaper, there's a possibility. Hello, what is this? The Ghost GAR just joined us. Welcome. If you wind up pitching the wrong type of content, they'll either ignore you or you'll just get rejections. So you want to prove that you're very serious about the type of writing that you do and what it is that you want to be able to pitch by showing them that you've done your research. Let's see what else. After you've done that, you've paid attention to the content, then you also want to look for instructions on how to publish in that particular magazine or newspaper. Oftentimes on the website, you'll find instructions on how you can publish in their website. If you scroll towards the bottom, it might be in it might just say something like contributors or write for us, or even on like an About Us page. You might find very specific instructions on who to contact, when to contact them, what sorts of content they're looking for their particular magazine or newspaper, or even their website. They'll be very, very explicit about it, so that there's no need to send them an email asking them questions about something that is already there. Poetry is the same structure, format, or steps. Are you asking me whether poetry magazines are looking for this? I assume that's what you're asking me. If it's not, could you clarify? Okay, yes. Yeah, a lot of poetry magazines will ask you for those same things. If they want poetry in a local magazine, if they already publish it, that's usually a good indication that they do accept it. If you don't see it in there, maybe you could write to them and ask if they would be interested in publishing it. But generally, if you already see that they're publishing poetry in that particular magazine, then you can ask them and see if they'd be interested in publishing yours. You can certainly do that. Let's see, what else would I suggest? Okay, so besides looking for, you're welcome, the Ghost GAR. Besides looking on the website, if you are working with an actual physical magazine or a journal or a newspaper, you could also just look in the physical magazine or the newspaper, and towards the front, um, towards the front where they have all the publishing information, you might be able to find a few quick lines somewhere in there about how you can contribute your articles to this particular magazine or newspaper as well. If they don't have it in there, then what you might want to do is look for the editor of that magazine or newspaper. And sometimes they'll have more than one editor. So you really want to pay attention to the type of material that you're requesting to include in their newspaper or magazine. So if you're a health coach, you might be interested in writing something for the health, beauty, and fitness section. If you're more of a business writer, you might want to speak to the business editor of that magazine, so on and so forth. And then you might want to go online or look in the magazine or the newspaper and look for their email address. And at that point, you can put together a pitch to that particular magazine or newspaper and ask them whether or not you have an idea or if you've already completed something. But first, you want to pay attention to whether or not they've already published instructions on what they're looking for and how to submit it. That's the most important. If you don't find anything, then that's when you want to send a pitch email. Hey, Chanel. Good to have you here. Chanel from Radiant Living. Chanel is one of my wonderful clients. I edited a book of hers. She has a wonderful business doing health and beauty products. And she also does a lot of business coaching as well. So good to have you here, Chanel. So those are my basic recommendations for how you can use magazine and article writing for getting some publicity or getting more visibility for your business. You don't need to hire a PR agent. As a solopreneur, I don't have enough money to be able to hire a PR agent. You can do a lot of those things for yourself. However, if you want assistance on that particular part of your business, it may be a good idea to hire someone like myself who can help you with editing your articles or even helping you to figure out what types of magazines and newspapers would be best for you to approach for whatever it is that you do for your business. A couple of things that I offer are something called an author jam session. They're 30 and 60-minute sessions where I work with business owners on whatever it is that you need. So we can use your 30 or 60 minutes to write out a plan for what magazines and newspapers you might be interested in going for. Helping you to complete a chart, maybe some ideas for content that you can offer to these magazines and newspapers. If you're someone who's already started writing this content and you need someone to help you to polish your work, that's certainly something that I do. And I was just saying at the very beginning of the scope that I help. Hello, the Chef and Pearls, welcome. I was just saying at the beginning of the scope that I help a lot of people who write articles and just need another eye to help them to polish their work. A lot of times I get a lot of clients who may feel like writing is not always their best skill, and so they need someone to come behind them. They've got all the content, they've got great ideas, they know what they're talking about. They just need to make sure that they have the published professional writing that they need to be able to put out there before they send it to a publisher or to a magazine editor or a newspaper editor. I also work with some adults. If you need to finish your book, I highly recommend Halana. Thank you so much, Chanel. Thank you so much. Your books as well. But even if for some people it takes a little bit of time to get to the book, and so they need to do things that are shorter. So magazine and newspaper articles in your local newspaper or magazine can really be a great place for you to start before you even get to the book. So that's just a few ideas that I have there. If you want to be able to contact me, you can find me here on Periscope, but also on Twitter. My Twitter name is Halana Black, HALONA BLACK. It's the exact same thing as my Periscope name. My website is called digitalwellpublisher.com. That's DIGITALWELL publisher, PUBLISHER.com. So Digital Well Publisher. Or you can also hit me up on my email. It's Halana Black, HALONA BLACK @gmail.com. So those are 3 different ways that you can find me. Thank you so much, Daphne. Thank you. Daphne is also a really wonderful writer who works with business owners. So perhaps you and I, Daphne, we need to get together and see how we can maybe work together in the future. So that would be really interesting for us. Yes, I was thinking that. Good. So I'm going to end this scope right here. I've given you my 3 ways that you can contact me, and so I look forward to hearing from you. You guys have a great day.